A grand jury is refusing to indict New York Attorney General Letitia James less than 2 weeks after the first case was dismissed. Federal officials failed to secure the new indictment against James, whom Trump has targeted, after a judge said the previous one was secured by an unlawfully appointed prosecutor. I'm going to say this. It feels almost like a big waste of time over the past few years, and it's kind of disappointing, but it's not meant to be conveyed as blackpilling negativity, but maybe a blossoming moment where we can move forward, and times change. I believe that we're looking at a reorientation in the political landscape. I think that there's going to be a party polar shift. It's actually really fascinating to see the Young Turks now aligned with Candace Owens and even Nick Fuentes. Not even a joke. Because it looks like a big dividing line is turning into foreign policy, particularly Israel. Israel. I'll put it like that. But the way I'll put it is, I think Trump has been marginally good in a lot of areas. I think he's failing in a lot of other areas. He is unable to deal with the corruption that we see in our own government. And I got to be honest, there's a lot of people who just don't really care. The coalition that was once surrounding Trump is now fractured. And there are many people who largely don't care that the people who tried to stop Trump from winning are going to have gotten away with it. And then the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we fighting for? What do we want? And what we can expect to happen? Well, Donald Trump has been moving in I guess I call it like a neocon, neoliberal direction. That is, initially, Trump was Trump. No new wars. Your brother lied to us about Iraq. You'd be in jail, Hillary. And what do we get in Trump's first term? Well, no new wars. Ukraine conflict was settling down. These were good things. And then Democrats lied, tried to put him in prison, and it was terrifying. The whole time this was going on, I was very staunchly pro-Democrat. I donated the maximum to Tulsi Gabbard, Andrew Yang, and was saying that the Democrats, it's kind of crazy to think back, not even that long ago. It's 5 years ago. 5 years ago. Now, just a little over 5 years ago, to be completely honest, because it's December. But it was in August of 2020 that after Joe Biden became the nominee, I can't believe it's been so long, right? I said, yeah, there's no way I'm voting for Joe Biden. I'm not going to support that guy. It's crazy. We don't want this weird gender stuff, the woke stuff. That's what they wanted, and it was a mistake. Trump pushed back, and there were big factors in what it meant to get behind Donald Trump. No woke DEI garbage and contracting, no new wars. And I said, look, based on what Joe Biden has to offer us, he's not my choice. I don't want him. And Trump's nowhere near close to my first choice. But I said, I'm going to be voting for Donald Trump. And for the first time, Republican down ticket, because the Democrats are wholly embracing the far left, and they're pushing people like me out. Well, now the whole system is kind of broken. I don't even know what it means to be behind Donald Trump. The Epstein stuff was very weird. Donald Trump's position, he wants to get back involved with Ukraine. It's kind of a mess. He wants to get back involved with Afghanistan. Okay. And this leaves me back in the sort of disaffected, middle of the road, moderate, even before. I didn't vote for Hillary or Trump. I was like, yuck, back in 2016. And I thought Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang represented something better for the Democratic Party. However, they did have a lot of problems that I'm willing to call out. They all raised their hands saying they want to give illegal immigrants health care, and they wanted to make it a civil infraction, not a criminal infraction. And I'm just like, okay. But now where are we? I still like Trump. I still think he's got decorum issues. That was always the case. Calling people piggy, but that's Trump being Trump, and I'm kind of just over it. And I don't know what the Democrats have to offer, because moving forward, it looks like Zoran Mamdani, AOC, or Gavin Newsom. The question is, what is Trump offering? And unfortunately, grocery prices are way up. The Epstein thing was flubbed left and right, up, down. I can't even tell what's going on. I don't think we're getting honest answers. There's a lot of people that are upset with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino not getting the job done. Arresting the J6 pipe bomber was big, but he can't even go after these people. And so there's a question of, right now, as the right fractures, prominent voices outright saying, we don't care about your midterms. Yeah. Prominent individuals on the right, now squarely on the left, if you know who I'm talking about. And the coalition fractured. Charlie Kirk is dead. He was murdered. And it was a tremendous gain for the Democrats and for the left. Instead of fighting against the left and their violence, the right is now fractured, with many pointing the finger directly at Turning Point specifically. And here we are. Donald Trump is not even able to get Letitia James indicted for mortgage fraud when it's clear-cut, plain as day. She lives in New York, claimed Virginia, I think it was Virginia, right, as a primary residence where she had a fugitive family member hiding out. So then what are we getting behind and what are we supporting? Now, I suppose the thing is it feels very black pilly because no one is doing anything about any of this. But to be fair, I don't think black pill's the right answer because it's always been that way. We have always seen the corrupt get away with everything, be it the Democrat or the Republican. So then what is really going on right now? My friends, honestly, I couldn't tell you. What I can say is the Trump era may be coming to an end, and that's the perception because, well, Trump's got a few years left. A lot of people are jumping ship. You know, I'll give you my honest thoughts. I think Nick Fuentes has never really been very, very pro-Trump. He's been pretty anti-Trump. You've got a lot of MAGA personalities who have jumped ship a long time ago. Dave Smith, who backed Trump in 24, now saying that, I don't know that he said he regrets it because he did what he did, but very critical of Trump. And the coalition is shattered. It's been shattering for some time, but I do believe that the assassination of Charlie Kirk really broke things. And now you can see that interest in politics is waning. I think most people are black-pilled. I really do. I've been having, I talk to a lot of people. I go out, I touch grass, you know, be it skateboarding, music, poker, the things that I do outside in the recreational world, or just grabbing lunch with people in DC and people working in the space. And I'm hearing a lot from regular people that they just are tuning all of this out. Nothing is changing. Trump is not succeeding on these key cultural issues. The cost of groceries is going up. Young people are not getting answers. Trump is split between trying to prioritize boomers and Gen Z. And it just seems like maybe we're coming to a point where everything's going to break apart. And that is, if there is no light at the end of the tunnel on any one of these issues, and there is no monoculture, nobody wants to stick their neck out and be the one to get burned. So then what does that mean for the rest of us? If Trump can't get an indictment on these people who clearly broke the law, then we are going to have a continually corrupt political system. I think we're going to see at the state level hyperpolarization. I think people are going to largely just disregard federal laws. I mean, no one's even passing anything anymore. But the question is, do we avoid civil war in part due to apathy, lethargy? If you fight for the right, if you get Republicans elected, they're not going to do anything. They're not. Be it because they're impotent or because they're unwilling. And that's where we are now. So I don't know if I have any good answers for you, my friends, because it seems like everybody is dejected. Now, those of you that are watching this may say, Tim, don't be black pilly, you know. But I'm telling you this. There are people who believe in a worldview. There are people who are fighting for politics. And the active political space is dying. Comedy, entertainment, sports are doing better than ever, but politics people are giving up on. And maybe that's what the uniparty establishment wants. I got more to say, but real quick, we got a great sponsor for you. It's AmericanFinancing.net/Tim. Make sure you check it out, of course. My friends, the Fed's just dropped interest rates again, and that's really great news for American homeowners. If you're feeling overwhelmed thinking about the upcoming holidays, there's no better time now to get your finances in order. It's hard to think about the holidays when everything's really expensive and your credit cards are already pushed to the max. With rates dropping, now is the time to pay off that debt. American Financing is helping homeowners access the equity in their home for instant savings. They're saving people just like you an average of $800 a month, and many are seeing rates in the low fives. That's a game changer compared to those sky-high credit cards. And if you start today, you may be able to delay 2 mortgage payments, giving you extra breathing room for the holidays. It costs absolutely nothing to find out how much you can save. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, so don't wait. Call their salary-based mortgage consultants today American Financing at 866-890-7811. That's 866-890-7811, or visit americanfinancing.net/Tim. Thanks for sponsoring the show, guys. So here's kind of my point. I think that for most of you that are hanging on and monitoring politics, you're asking, how do we move forward and what is our path towards success? And my response is, honestly, I don't have any good answers. I've never been a leader. I'm not going to be president. I'm not going to run for Congress. And times are rough. We're coming into a midterm year, and I look at it a couple different ways. Can we carry on the way we are with the threats, with the polarization and the fragmentation? Seriously, can you operate a business? Can you host a show if you're focused on something that people don't really care that much about anymore? They're walking away. But I do believe that coming into the midterm year, people are going to coalesce again, and we're going to see something interesting. I think we're going to see this being an off year, and towards the holidays, people are saying, ugh. But as we enter the midterm year, controversy, crisis is going to escalate. As it often does, it wanes during the holidays. So I do believe, for most of you, the final message is just relax, stay true, believe in what you believe, make your life better, work hard. And I think this is a midterm year. It's going to get wild. The Democrats are on track to win. And if they do, Trump is going to get railroaded. And when he does, oh boy, we'll see how things play out. But I'll leave it there, my friends. Smash that like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. More to come throughout the day. And we'll see you all in the next segment. I think it's going to be 8 p.m. for Timcast IRL. We'll see you then.